You are listening to the Old Titans.
Who's us?
I had to get a little older that time because I just got older.
I'm saying because is this like a three-way show here, man? It's not just us.
Yeah, well, we're going to get to that part.
Well,
You're jumping ahead. You're supposed to be executive producing God type person, and you're jumping ahead.
I never said I was God type person.
Well,
Type
okay.
person. I'm sorry.
To be fair, it's about 2.5 shows here, so...
Okay, all right. Well, welcome to the Old Titans. As I was saying before, I was rudely interrupted by my co-host. This is John Paul, your primary host. Before you get to the co-host, I'm staking my claim.
Oh.
That is the most foolish comment you've said this entire year. As the award show, put down the most foolish comment
And
I've
as we
said
sit
this
by,
year.
we watch the downfall of Titan.
Downfall. We had to be up there eventually to actually the downfall.
All right, so I introduced myself. I never heard you introduce yourself to the...
Well, I am the
Teeming
executive producer,
multitude.
co-creator, the grand poobah of the Old Titans, the head person. No, Jump, what do you actually do for the show, Jump? I do all the work for the show. All the work for the show.
I pay for it.
So actually, he would be like the producer.
Yeah, he's the producer.
I'm executive producer.
I don't think you are, though.
I am.
That works.
You're
That
not even
works.
running the recording device.
I told him to push. I told him I was ready.
Well, he did it though.
So say your name.
B-man. I said that already.
There we go. No, you didn't. No,
I
you
might
said
not.
everything except the last
Okay,
part.
whatever.
Okay. So we have B-Man. And we have guests, if you can't tell from all the different comments from the, I won't say peanut gallery, but that's for the normal phrase there.
The bullpen?
For the bullpen. There we go. There we go. So I'm going to start with the half, since you
The
said
lone
you're on
representative
half.
of, I'm Brian from Coin Operated, so Coin Op Brian.
I'm Hard at Work Matt from Hard at Work Show, y'all.
There we go. I was waiting for it.
I'm gonna need you to introduce me. I can't introduce myself.
And right here, by more comes Starfighter himself, Thanos in the flesh, the one who snaps aware of has Hard at Work Nick.
You know what that
Thanks,
reminds me of? The Bob Newhart show back in the day.
Yeah.
Well, hey, I'm Larry, my cousin.
That's what I was going for, yeah.
And he,
I'm
like, they asked
surprised you
what his
actually
name
knew the Bob
was.
Newhart
Nobody
show.
asked his name before. Because I couldn't think of it. Look at his name, because nobody ever asked him his name before. That's kind of like
Okay.
these guys right here.
All right. Other than this wasn't the Bob Newhart show. That was just the Newhart show. The Bob Newhart show was the older one. Just,
Whatever.
you know, because I got
That's why you're not the
They're
main
showing their
host.
I am the main host. Why do you guys think this?
All right, so here we are, our last recording of 2018 before we flip into an odd year. And this seemed like an odd year, but it was technically an even year. So we are doing what last year we called the Crisis on Infinite Podcasts. We didn't come up with a clever name this year, so maybe this is Infinite Crisis Podcasts.
No, that wasn't a good one, was it?
Crisis
No,
in the-
not as good.
No, wait, you already said that one.
Well, nobody knows if this will be a good one either.
Yeah, that's true. Hopefully this is not the final podcast crisis, because then it'd be written by Grant Morrison, and that'd be horrible. But
That was a really bad series.
yeah, so this is our year in review for 2018. We have hopefully varied opinions, and it's not ditto, 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 ditto around the room. I'm looking at you, Nick, since you said you were going to ditto a lot.
I probably will.
Yeah, but you know, that's okay. I'm assuming there's going to be some duplicate, but we're going to let's start out with probably the smallest one financially of all of our categories. Start with the comic book category. Who wants to kick off the comic book category here?
I don't have any comic books.
I'm gonna jump in now and say I don't read comic books, so I have to bow out of this one.
So we're
this is
starting
pretty
off
much-
strongly.
So pretty much just me and John Paul, and then Brendan's is going to say, like, Spawn from 1992, yeah!
I would never say that.
Yeah, you will.
Is that the year Spawn came out?
No.
That didn't sound right.
It was not.
It was what, 94?
It was close. It was 1994.
Yeah.
It was 94.
Is
I'm
it that general
disappointed in
range?
myself because I should read comics, but I just haven't. in
All right,
years.
so coin operated. What do you got for the? And just for everybody,
Yeah.
we're doing best, most disappointing, and most surprising in each of these categories, and then we're going to end it with a surprise, last minute category thrown in by.
Hard at Work Matt, y'all.
Okay,
I'm going to go right off the bat and say probably my favorite one that whenever it comes out, I read it right away is going to be Batman.
Okay.
And I've been loving what Tom King's been doing. He's been one of my favorite writers right now. Following up after Scott Snyder's he's been doing a great job on that one. So my most outstanding is Batman.
I didn't bring a pen. Everybody has gone. And she goes, oh, it's not the same. I need it in my hand right
all right. Well, we'll bounce back and forth. So it's just
Yeah.
two of us. My favorite of the year, even though the first issue came out in 17, the bulk of it so far has come out in 18.
Yeah.
No question for me, Doomsday Clock. I just
Yeah, that's been really good.
it's been great the whole way. I just hate that they made it bi-monthly, but
Yeah.
All right, so-
It happens.
So about most
Oh,
disappointing.
I can add in this one. This is. I'll lead off this one. I'll lead off this one.
Uh-huh.
Jeebus.
The Batman wedding was the stupidest thing I read in my entire life. That was the stupidest build-up, the stupidest overall story, the stupidest thing DC could do. DC does some stupid things. Like, for example, Batman v Superman, stupid. Suicide Squad, stupid. These movies are stupid. This is the stupidest comic in history. Let's have Batman marry Catwoman. Everybody knew it wasn't going to happen. But no, it's going to happen. We have this big build-up. And what happens? It doesn't happen.
Psych.
It was the stupidest thing. And we had like 80 different covers to it. So you buy all these covers for nothing. Stupid, DC. Stupid.
Did you like it though?
No. Okay.
Yeah, like what was your opinion?
Yeah, I'm not really sure where you
all,
stand on
all I
that.
know is you don't like DC movies, and Batman marrying Catwoman was stupid.
He didn't marry her.
But did you read the issue? Did you like the issue? Did you like the art? Did you like how they had like the multiple stories in it?
It was stupid.
Fair enough.
For the record, even though it's not my most disappointed of the year, ditto. There
Wow.
we go.
You guys are very passionate about how stupid that book
Yeah.
was.
All right, so what do you got for disappointing?
Justice League.
The news,
The new
Snyder.
Justice League, by Scott Snyder. I'm a huge Scott Snyder fan. I love his work. The Justice League is just. I was reading it and then I stopped because it was just so bad.
I came really close to saying the wedding. I came really close to saying no justice,
Yeah.
which was the lead in to that. There were 2 or 3 things that came close, but I had to go with the switching of Bendis on the Superman books. Just not because they're bad, because it was the most disappointing thing that happened to me, because Superman was going so well, and then Bendis, boom. And it's not necessarily his fault. It's
DC's fault. for
DC's.
giving him too much control.
Yeah, I mean, he's doing the best he can. His books aren't bad, but it was just so disappointing.
Yeah.
All right, how about surprising?
Surprisingly, it's actually Bendis writing Action Comics and Superman side by side and doing what Bendis does best by just mucking it up. That's been the most surprising because you think like new first thing.
Yeah.
He just kept bringing his same stuff from Marvel onto here. He was given too big of a books to try to start off with. He should have started off with a lower level superhero. So that's my most surprising thing, that they just, here you go, you got the reins of everything, and then he just mucked it up.
I'll go with that. So ditto there.
Yeah.
As I said, I don't want to hear a lot of dittos, and here I am.
Look
I'm the
at
first
you
2
guys.
dittos.
Guess
Look at
what?
you guys.
I had most surprising as well.
You did.
Yes. The fact that DC would greenlight that stupid Batman story was beyond belief to me. Who would have greenlight this thing?
He
I
brought
mean,
it all
it's
the
like
way
Jaws 4. Hey, the shark follows them from Boston or Amity Island to Bahamas. That's a great story. Go with it. This is the stupidest thing. Let's have Batman marry Catwoman after all these years of build-up. Let's
He
have
just thinks it's stupid because it's out of Boston. That's why he hates Jaws
Amity.
4.
I love the first 3 Jaws.
All right. So most surprising here. You went with that. For me, I've said multiple times, including when we talked about the trailer for the new Shazam movie, that I don't like the new take on Shazam. I like the traditional Captain Marvel, multiple variations of it. I love the whole Power of Shazam story when they blended that into the Justice Society and the archaeology side of it and all the rest. They've had such good Captain Marvel stories. I don't like the new take, and this is a surprise to me because it's Jeff Johns.
Yeah.
But I don't like his take on Shazam. And yet I got issue number 1 because, well, it was an issue number 1 by Jeff Johns. I needed to get it. And I enjoyed it. So to me, that was the surprise, is I actually enjoyed it. I still don't like the take on the way they're doing the character, but the book was really, really good.
I'll do one question of comics go. I don't know if was this year where they said 4 Jokers?
No, three Jokers, and it's sometime in 2019.
But when did they announce those 3 Jokers?
2017 they announced it.
Okay, but that was a stupid thing from last year.
Okay. Or actually, it might have been 16 at this
Whatever.
point
Just-
when they
I
said
know.
it.
Yeah, one of those two.
But-
They're all over the place.
Yeah. But the actual comic from Jeff Johns comes out sometime in 2019.
Okay.
All right, so moving on. I have nothing in the video game category, but y'all might because
I got some stuff.
just because. So take it away, anybody.
Alright, so I'll co-host this thing. Don't worry. You sit there and just be pretty. We're doing video games now.
You know he's only going to talk about
The
Jason.
best video game of the year. Spider-Man. Oh, he's high-fiving me.
High
Yeah.
five, right there.
Are we
For
diddling
those
this? 'Cause
for
that's
those who
mine,
can't see, there was a high five that just occurred.
It was very awkward.
Yeah, I really dug it, man.
So despite the fact that God of War won Game of the Year
Mhm.
and you also are playing Red Dead, you're still going to go Spider-Man?
I'm gonna go Spider-Man. That story had me. It's Spider-Man. It looked gorgeous, and like I want to keep playing it even though I'm done with it. And normally I don't get too into like DLC, but like for the holiday break, I'm like, yeah, I'm hitting that DLC up.
Sounds like
for sure.
Spider-Man had him at hello.
Yes.
So there you
it's
go.
It's really good. So you got Spider-Man
Well,
also.
technically
as your
Spider-Man
I
pick?
do,
had him at
yeah,
Tiger.
that was definitely my favorite game of the year.
So 3 out of the 4. What you got?
You know, one thing
I
I
got-
got Spider-Man though.
For Game of the Year, I got Octopath Traveler.
All right. Well, that's fine.
I haven't heard of it before. Spider-Man, this is what I'll say this game does better than anything else in this world. At one point in the game, I caught on top of, like, Avengers Tower, what it was, and just looked around.
Mm-hmm.
Visually, this was the most amazing thing I've seen in my entire life. Like, just look, you see the plane flying across the screen, and the sunset, and just the island across. It just, everything around just so visually, I can just sit there and stare at it all day long. It
So
was
what I
amazing.
want to see, though, based on what he just said and based on the experience we had with a Sony PlayStation VR set, I want to see him redo that with a VR headset on.
Why?
Because when you do that as Batman and you were standing just on like the second floor of a building or third floor of a building, you were shaking.
I was not shaking.
You were scared to death on the edge of that building.
No, that's not true.
So
I had a
getting
Red
called
Bull.
out.
I had a Red Bull, and my
I
body
want the
shakes
Red
from that
Bull.
Red Bull,
Okay.
and I was fine.
Okay.
And then one of you guys grabbed me from behind, and I might have screamed a little bit.
Okay.
Just a little bit.
Because of the Red Bull.
Right, the Red Bull. Red Bull makes you scream.
that aside.
It gives me wings and makes me scream.
That would be really cool to be able to put on a VR helmet and do the swing. That would be really cool.
Oh yeah, nauseating probably.
Yeah.
All right, most disappointing.
Most disappointing. This one probably won't be a big surprise for people. I actually have a dual winner for this category, or a loser, I guess. I have Fallout 76 and I have Inpatient. 76 just because it's so bad. I'm still liking it and still enjoying it, so it sounds weird for me to say that, but it's not the Fallout game that you want. But also Inpatient, which is a VR game from one of my favorite studios. I was like, man, they're making VR. It's going to be a prequel to a game that I already know and love, and it really sucked. It was really bad and super short and disappointing. That's why it's in this category.
What does your co-host say?
I have to agree with Fallout 76, which is funny because I have not played it. But I know enough about it.
Yeah, you
to
sit there and
know-
watch me play, and I ran you through all the
Yeah.
stuff that was different.
You know,
You're
I
like,
trust
oh.
y'all's opinion enough. I'm going to say ditto to that.
Nice,
There you
nice.
go.
We got 3 on board for this.
It's not really fair for me to say this because it's still in beta, but Red Dead 2 Online, I've never been so bored playing the game my entire life than the online version. I know it's still in progress and all this kind of stuff, but I mean, I just spawned there and people just randomly come and start shooting for whatever reason. Like, okay, that was fun.
That doesn't sound boring.
And then, no, I mean, I just like spawn, I'm dead. I'm like, okay, that was fun. Then the
Sounds
ride
like you're in
across
Chicago.
thing, it seemed like a big money pit to me, like real money currency to buy certain
Yeah,
things,
yeah.
and I hate that. I think that's destroying video games in general. That's what it feels like to me so far.
So,
Mine's is Polygon.
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 What the heck are you
Polygon.
playing?
yeah, if you remember from last year, he had the most bizarre games that were off the wall from anybody. So that's okay.
Yeah, it's a downloadable game on the Nintendo Switch that you're an agent of Gaia and you have to collect souls. The game is horrible. The graphics are cool, but just the execution is just garbage.
Alrighty.
That's fair.
So, how about most surprising?
This one,
Brian's choices.
yeah. This one is a funny one for me because I don't normally get down with Nintendo, but I've played some Mario Party and I've enjoyed it. And it's not great. It's not a great game. It's actually only slightly good, but the fact that it's good at all really surprised me because they haven't made a good Mario Party game in a while. So, good job, Nintendo.
You like all the mini games, but you don't like that winning is just a fluke.
Yeah, winning is a fluke in that game, and I wouldn't even say I like all the mini games. I would say I like a good 70% of them. But it seems like the ones that you don't want to play are the only ones that stick in your mind after the fact, and you're like, all I did was play games I didn't want to. I know it's not true, but that's how it feels after the fact because you're like, oh, okay.
Alrighty.
All right, so my most surprising was Bulletstorm Remastered. I don't even know if this came out this year, but I just got it for free.
You discovered it this year.
Yeah, and yeah, it's a blast. Like I was in the mood for a shooter, and I didn't have anything I really wanted to play, so this came out at the perfect time.
So I take it there's a lot of shooting in a game
It's
called
a first-person
Bulletstorm.
shooter,
Yeah.
but like there's crazy physics. You can kick guys and throw them across the map, or use this like electric whip or whip them towards you, and then kick them and shoot them, and it's insane. It's like pure insanity, but
All
really
right.
fun.
Alrighty.
Most surprising, it didn't come out this year, but I'm still playing it like almost every other night. It's Dead by Daylight.
Oh my god.
I can't put.
I
See,
keep
I knew you
talking
to say
about
that.
Oh my god.
I mean, they update new killers all
You
the
know
time.
who wasn't surprised? Us.
Yeah,
I
to
mean,
be fair.
I play this game all the time. It's been out for like 2 years now, and I'm still really enjoying it. And it's just a lot of fun. And it was free, and you guys got it for free, and you haven't played it with me, like you said you would. My feelings are hurt.
That's actually true.
That is true, statement.
Maybe over the break we'll play.
Were you really?
I said maybe.
You need to
Maybe
know
was the first word.
I even downloaded it, but then I had to get rid of it to make space.
So I'm waiting to see, since Brian has surprised us with the other two picks, if this is the one he's going to go non-surprising on his most surprising.
I gotta go with Octopath Traveler again as my most surprising game, just
What
because
is this game?
it's a.
That was
well,
actually a big deal game.
Was
I'll
it
explain
really?
to you what it was. It was a game where you downloaded the demo. You got the game for 3 hours. It's the whole complete game. So whatever you play in the demo transfers over to the main game if you ever buy it, and you could pretty much beat the character one or two of the characters in those 3 hours. And it's a traditional JRPG. The story was great. The mechanics were amazingly well thought out. It was very well planned, and the story really did get your attention. So for the fact that they did such an ambitious game for the Nintendo Switch was great, and the execution was amazing.
Are you upset it lost to Monster Hunter?
Not really,
World.
because Monster Hunter World, the Video Games Awards, is pretty much just public opinion. Just whoever thinks whatever game is amazing. For the fact that Celeste won one of the awards and it was only a downloadable game, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna come up with a hard copy next year." It's like, well, okay. I
But
mean,
the Video Game Awards tend to love Nintendo, so I was actually surprised.
not really, because there was a lot of more emphasis on first-person games and just single-player story modes. I mean, last year was Breath of the Wild because that was just an amazing game, but this year,
But
there's
it
just-
wasn't the best game at the award show, but still won a bunch of awards. We could fall down this rabbit hole for a long
Yeah.
time.
So Octopath.
Yes, Octopath Traveler is my most surprising game, just
All right.
for the fact that they executed it so well and such a huge ambition that on the Switch it was amazing.
All right. So now we're getting into our 2 variations of TV shows and 2 variations of movies. So TV first.
I have,
Yes.
So
We have a
he-
question.
He
We have someone
wrote it
raising their
as fanboy TV show, and then overall, I took that as just like nerd stuff and not nerd stuff. But the word overall makes it sound like I like these things more than the fanboy stuff. Is that what you meant?
Overall meant including those.
He wrote that on me.
Okay.
I think-
Well, I
what-
separated them.
Okay. You can
because
do it
some
either
of my
way.
stuff should have been in the other category then. Cause
Just
like,
making an honorable mention.
What, for instance, this is not me, but for instance, you could be somebody who really, really loved Jessica Jones as a genre
Yeah,
geek
yeah.
fanboy show, but Grey's Anatomy was your favorite overall, which is definitely not.
I messed it up. I messed it all up. There.
That's
It's fine. You know what?
You can go that way.
Don't even worry about it.
Yeah, all right.
Don't
So
even-
we're starting with the
worry about
fanboy TV show. Best, and since I didn't get to do any video games other than my funny ditto here a moment ago, I'm going to start on this one. Yet again this year, Legends of Tomorrow. I think Legends of Tomorrow is absolutely the best genre sci-fi fantasy superhero show we've ever had on TV. It's the first thing I watch. I DVR everything, and most stuff sits there for a couple of days, and I get to it. That one I have to watch the night it comes out every week. I just love it. So probably nobody else is going to have Legends of Tomorrow on their
nobody
list,
else
No.
is,
but well, there we go. Should we go the same path we were going?
Sure, yeah. I have Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. as my best fanboy one. This year they did some time travel stuff, and they separated themselves from the Marvel Cinematic Universe in like a big way.
It was almost my surprising.
Yeah, that
It was
really,
good.
I've always liked that show, but I thought this season in particular was a real standout.
Yeah.
I thought it was really good. And it's,
It was a strong contender. I think it came in third for me.
you
for
know,
that.
I assume you watch a lot of TV, so third, pretty good.
Yeah, I
I
did
watched
watch a
a
lot of TV.
So yeah, S.H.I.E.L.D. How about
Alrighty.
you?
So, best fanboy show. I realized as I was making out this list, I haven't watched a lot of fanboy shows lately. I fell off all the DC ones, stopped watching S.H.I.E.L.D. The Netflix ones have really disappointed me, but that's what I had to go with. And my favorite of the Netflix Marvel shows that came out this year was Jessica Jones Season 2.
All right.
It's a real weak entry in the best of anything because it was just okay. But of the stuff I watched, it was good.
And that's the key. For the record, for a lot of these, we have not seen everything this year. I've got a list of more movies that I haven't seen yet than I did see. So I know that when we get to movies, at least, when I say best and all the rest, there could be some stuff out there a whole lot worse than my most disappointing and maybe much better than my favorite. But I think it's the case on all of them. So that's all we can go with. That's what we've seen.
Yeah.
B-Man.
Karate Kid. I thought that was great. YouTube Red came out there, looked kind of cheesy at first, but
Cobra Kai, right?
Cobra Kai, yes, it's actually Cobra Kai. That's what it's
Yeah.
called. I apologize.
No,
Whatever it
that's
is,
all right.
it was. I enjoyed every episode of it. I wanted more of it. I can't wait till more comes out next year.
I've heard good things.
The first two are free on YouTube. If you want to see them, have you seen the movies originally?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I've seen the original movies. I think you'll enjoy it a lot.
So you guys are just going to be ragging on me for the rest of the show, so I'm just going to take it now. My favorite fanboy TV show was Teen Titans Go.
Wow.
Yeah, it'll start soon here.
Is that
Yeah.
the animated one?
Yeah,
that's
That's
the
on the TV's in
Yep.
the... Oh,
He puts
man.
on that. He's the one that puts on there.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
No,
man.
it's Cartoon Network. So much better. But yeah, Teen Titans Go, I still love it. It's one of my favorite TV shows. They have a lot of cool DC references, Easter eggs in the background, and some of the episodes are really good. Some of the episodes are just dumb stupid, but yeah. Anyway.
I will say I have a feeling probably the writers on Legends Tomorrow watch some of that, because every so often I can see a moment. In this last episode, they had a moment where the characters went into a Charlie's Angels pose and all this kind of
Yeah.
flashy stuff with musical numbers, and that felt very Teen Titans Go-like at the time.
Yeah, that or Buffy. Depending on which one.
Yeah. Alrighty. Most disappointing. I'm going to go with something you mentioned. I didn't pick a show. I picked the Netflix cancellations in general. I thought that
Wow,
was so
talk about a
disappointing.
tie.
I thought that was so disappointing that they canceled everything. Even though I didn't watch all of them, I really, Daredevil I thought was great, and I was hoping for more. And just the fact that they canceled them was, to me, the most disappointing thing that year. You said that was yours?
Yeah, the fact that Daredevil was, I know Jessica Jones, most people liked it, some people didn't. Iron Fist and Power Man, or Iron Fist and Luke Cage, people were like, it was meh. I could see those being canceled. Daredevil was so universally loved by everybody, and the ratings were great.
It was the first thing Marvel did on TV that people loved.
Right.
Since Incredible Hulk in the 70s.
I kind of thought Netflix was canceling because Disney wanted it for themselves, but Disney said, we're not taking it. That's
Yeah.
gone. So
Yeah.
I'm just shocked by this. It was 3 great seasons of Daredevil.
Two good seasons. Season 2 was bad. That was a bad
Season 2 was the worst of the 3, but Season 2 wasn't bad. It was still
Yeah, but
better
all the
than-
good stuff was the Punisher.
True.
So
And
not-
Punisher's are getting canceled already. You know that for a fact.
Yeah.
I mean, they're already pretty much put a plug in that.
So what do you say?
Most disappointing for me was Altered Carbon. Like, I thought that was a really cool concept, and like it looked neat. But man, is that
They got renewed for a second season.
God, I didn't make it past 2 episodes. I was like, this is boring. Like, I want to fall asleep every time I'm watching it, and it really disappointed me because it looked really cool and the concept seemed really neat.
I saw it on a lot of most disappointing shows of the year lists.
Yeah, that makes sense.
it was.
Like, I'm not surprised.
So mine, which I looked it up, it actually was at the end of 2017.
Okay,
But again, I didn't
close
watch
enough.
it till
Yeah.
last year. It was Runaways.
Yeah.
It's the Hulu original based on the comic.
Yeah, a lot of people have really enjoyed that this
And
year.
I liked the comic a lot. And I mean, it's like the whole season was stuff leading up to where the comic just begins.
Yeah, they seem to want to do
prequel.
that. Why?
Prequel to the comic.
And I didn't like a lot of the things they were doing. And yeah, it really disappointed me. The cast was good. I'll give it that.
Yeah. And Brian.
Walking Dead not being canceled.
That's
Probably
fair.
the most disappointing thing, just because the show should have ended a long time ago. They keep beating a dead horse with this one. That at this point, you're wondering why it hasn't been canceled yet. So that's my most disappointing thing, that they just haven't canceled it.
And I don't know who's still watching that show because everyone I know stopped
Yeah.
like seasons ago.
We reckon Ron watches it. That's the
Ron?
Yeah.
Well, that's
Keep it
right
going.
there.
He's
Ron
keeping
has
it
that
going.
ratings. He's this box that produces all these ratings at once.
He has like
It's
15 Nelson boxes. It's like, kind of like the Family Guy episode.
All right. So surprising. Okay, so I could not pick. I said number 3 on my surprising was Shield. I could not pick between 1 and 2. They were a tie. I do this a lot. I
So
know.
technically, Shield's number 2.
Well, when you tie a tie like that, you have to
Oh, two
skip
today,
and
two
go
today,
down.
yeah.
Yeah. My tie on this was 2 shows that on both of them, one, Krypton was the first of the 2 ties. I talked bad about Krypton for a really, really long time before it came out. I did not like the concept, didn't like they were doing it, and then it ended up being great. Loved it. And Titans, I was excited about Titans until we saw some of the images that came out, and then the first trailer, and then it was like, oh crap, here we go.
That's
And
the
then-
closest thing you come to swearing, by the way.
It happens.
Okay, this is a
you know.
PG show, John Paul.
I
Watch the C
understand.
word.
And the season has been great. Every episode has gotten better and better throughout the season. We've got this coming week is the finale. Batman is finally going to be in the finale.
That's cool.
So I think it's cool. But yeah, so those 2 are my tie for most surprising.
That's funny that you have a tie for most surprising because I have a tie for most surprising also. And mine are One Punch Man, which is a little cheating because I had seen it
That
before,
one
but
came out
only.
in 2016.
Hey man, I just now watched it.
It's new to him.
One Punch Man, and I recognize that it's old, and I recognize that I had seen it subbed already, but watching it dubbed is like so much better. And My Hero Academia also. I don't
anime.
get down with a lot of anime, but those two I'm really digging. Like I'm digging them a lot.
Very cool. How about
For
you,
the
Nick?
most surprising, my honorable mention's actually One Punch Man.
Yay.
Because I just saw it, even though it's old and it's awesome. But
You
what I
guys are
actually
really
picked
nailing down
was
the old Titans part.
Yeah.
my actual pick is this show Future Man, which is also a Hulu original. I don't know if
Okay.
anyone else
Was
saw
that
it.
this
I know
year?
which one you're talking about.
No, I've not even heard of that
I
one.
think it was this year.
Future Man is awesome.
Okay.
You will not like it.
Okay.
So don't
It's
worry about
quite
it.
Don't worry about
vulgar, but has time travel, but it's a comedy and it's just
I like time
hilarious.
travel, but okay.
No, if Guardians of the Galaxy is a step too far for the comedy, like this is
This goes beyond
this is
that.
in the next state
Yeah.
over. It's like
Okay.
very raunchy.
Seth
and, like,
Rogen is one of the writers, if that helps you.
It probably means no. All
but
right.
it's dope. It's really good.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
B-Man, what do you think?
Star Trek. I never liked Star Trek before the TV shows. Never liked any of them. This episode I thought was really
And half of it was in 2018, so yeah.
half it was. When's the next part coming out?
January,
that what
or
it is?
January or February. I think it's January.
I mean, it was visually, it was amazing. Just a lot of fun. Overall, I just enjoyed that show a lot.
I did too. It honestly was, if I had to make a list of everything I enjoyed this year, that would be near the top.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was great.
For me, the most surprising is actually going to be Titans, just because I saw the first episode, I was very like, this is going to be garbage. And then I saw the second episode, okay, there's some problems. And I saw the third episode, I'm like, okay, they fixed the problems.
Like I said, every episode it got a little bit better
Yeah.
every time. Not that I didn't think it started out bad, but every episode got
Yeah,
noticeably better throughout the whole season.
Yeah, when they had the Streetwalker Corey as like the whole thing, and she stayed in that costume for a lot of the times, and she has, I'm like, I'm not too sure about this one, but
But the
they got
actress
better.
sells you. I mean,
Yeah.
she does a great job.
So yeah, so that's been one of my surprising ones, that they DC fixed their stuff and got it better.
All right. So we don't drag this out too far. Of the overall, since we all did this kind of different, we'll just go through those real quick on the overall TV show.
All right.
How about that? So overall TV show, I got the exact same show. Legends of Tomorrow is still my favorite. Most disappointing, Camping. It's an HBO show that has Jennifer Garner
Oh,
and
and
David Tennant.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this is going to be great. And kind of like you mentioned with one of the shows, you couldn't get through 2 episodes. I couldn't get through 10 minutes. Just
It's upsetting.
yeah, and most surprising, I heard they were bringing back American Idol, which I used to love, but its last couple seasons were really kind of lame. I thought this was going to be horrible. Loved it. It was one of the best seasons they ever did on American Idol. So it was my surprising overall.
Cool. So yeah, like I was saying earlier, mine's a little different. This is just not nerdy stuff, but my overall best was A Good Place. That show rocks. I'm loving it.
Yes, that's a good one.
Most disappointing is The 100. I was on board with that show for a long time, but this most recent season is just garbage. And most surprising is Jack Ryan.
Yeah.
I thought it would be good because I like
Tom Clancy.
Krasinski.
John Krasinski.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, the director.
Jim from The Office, but it's really
Oh.
good, and it's short. It's like 8 episodes or whatever, but it's as far as like action TV goes, it's probably one of my favorite things I've ever seen. Like it's really good,
How does it compare to the other Tom Clancy movies? Things like
better than
Hunt for
all
Red
of them.
October and all that kind of stuff.
I don't know.
You don't know? You haven't watched any of them?
The only one I think I've ever seen is Sum of All Fears.
Okay.
It's
Oh, the
way
Ben
better
Affleck
than
one?
that.
That was the
Yeah.
worst one of all of them. Yeah.
Oh, it's better than Jack Ryan Shadow Recruit, and I actually like that movie. That had Chris Pine in it.
Okay.
But no, it's really good.
Nick, what are your 3?
So yeah, my favorite overall show, and this is legit, is The Good Place. I actually turned Matt onto
Yeah.
it, which is
Yeah.
why it's
Alright.
on his list now, and it is hilarious. It is also my most surprising,
Yeah.
because I remember seeing the trailers for this when it came out. Now I burned through this, but I did see the whole thing this year. But
Okay.
there is a new season. This is an ongoing
Yeah.
show, so
Yeah.
it's legit this year. But I did burn through all the seasons this year. And I remember seeing the previews when it first came out. I'm like, that show looks terrible.
The twists on it have been great.
Yes.
I didn't enjoy necessarily the week to week, but the twists have been really, really cool on it.
Yeah, just so funny. It just really surprised me how much better it was. And I didn't realize it was the same guy that had made Parks and Rec, which is like my favorite show ever.
All right.
So I should, if I had known that, I probably would have given it a chance right out of the gate. But I've skipped over disappointing. It's just Runaways again.
Okay.
It was
Same.
disappointing.
Yeah, it can be the same. B-Man, what do you got?
I'm still like new to the show right now. I just started recently, but I think The Haunting at Hill House, Netflix original,
I've heard that's really good.
it's been great so far.
Once you finish it, I need to know how you feel about the last episode because I loved it, and then the last episode made me want to throw my PlayStation out the window.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, I'm only a couple in, so I would.
It's really good
By
until that
the
point,
break,
though.
I'll finish it though. By the break, I'll finish it.
I just have to clarify: is this because you watch your streaming stuff through the PlayStation?
Yes.
Or is this
It's on
because
Netflix.
the PlayStation does something horrible in the episode?
You know
Does
what? Maybe both. Maybe
Okay.
I don't
both.
be costing the PlayStation.
I don't wanna
episode,
spoil
I'm not
anything,
going-
yeah.
I don't want to know anymore. This is enough conversation.
The haunted PlayStation. There we go.
At this point, I'm still going Netflix. I'm just not happy with what's that.
Yeah.
Surprising. I'm changing my surprising answer right now because The Good Place I just saw this year. My wife, she showed it to me. I only saw like 5-6 episodes so far, but I cracked up every single episode. That show is hysterical. I love Kristen Bell, Ted Danson. They're all great. It's just a hysterical show.
Yeah.
It's one of those stupid shows that you can't stop getting enough of in a way. This is really funny.
Cool.
For me, it's My Hero Academia Season 3 for outstanding, just because they've improved upon it.
So we've had a lot of mention of that.
Hey.
Yeah.
Walking Dead not being canceled, even with Andrew Lincoln leaving, they're like, nope, we're going to keep going with this dead horse. And most surprising is Gratsko being on Netflix and being a really great show.
All right. By the way, it's Walking Dead Horse, not a dead horse that they're beating. You got to at least
I see what
give
you
them
did
that.
there.
Yeah. It's not that
I mean,
great.
the horse can't really walk anymore, so it's kind of like crawling horse? I don't know.
Yeah. All right.
Movies.
Now we'll go back into a slower pace here. Fanboy movie. All right. B-Man was right for best of the year so far. I still have 4 I haven't seen yet.
I caught it back in January.
Yeah, but there's 4 I have not seen yet this year, and I still say Welcome to Morrowind looks so good. This could change, but as of right now, Aquaman is my favorite movie of the year. It blended superheroes, Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, maybe even a tad bit of Flash Gordon in there, and it's just a great ride. It really is. So,
I want to say something negative, but I haven't seen it, so I'm gonna let that ride.
yeah, and
I'll let it
I'm the only
ride.
one in here who's seen it so far because the Amazon showing this past weekend, I believe, right?
I have not.
Here,
Yeah,
okay.
it was Amazon Prime.
Yeah. Somebody chose to be with one of their best friends instead of going to see the movie.
I know, because he
You
had to
know.
graduate with his doctorate.
My best friend invited me to the movie.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I told you
No.
about it.
She
No,
get,
you didn't invite me.
she get new friends.
Yeah.
Somebody that
She
likes
started a
you.
new podcast with Blackjack.
All right, so what do y'all have for
Streetwalkers.
best of the year?
I mean, is it not obvious? I got Infinity War. Come on.
I've got it on my list here.
Come on.
I'm not going to tell where yet.
I'm pretty sure I know where it is already on your list, and this is foolishness.
I mean, everything you just said about the movie you just said it about should have been said about Infinity War because it's awesome in every single way. Plus, makes you real sad.
It does.
Makes you real sad.
And that's the one I still don't get. I
don't
don't want to
feel
dive
so
into
good.
it, but I just never got sad in
Because
Yeah,
you're hot in
Infinity
this,
War.
John
Yeah,
Paul.
you're
You're
hot.
hot in this.
Heartless
It's not that he's
monster.
heartless, it's that they're Marvel characters.
No, that's
well,
true.
they're all coming back, within a year.
Yeah, but the people in the movie don't know that. You're
Yeah.
not sad for the
I mean,
survivors.
you-
They
I
didn't
mean, it's
build
not like they
to
have
it.
plot immunity
The
and they
one they
sign
got
contracts
close.
for multiple movie deals. Or
The one they
anything
got
like that.
close to developing a sad moment for, honestly, was Spider-Man. That's the one that got close.
Even
And
Loki at the beginning?
Even then, you realize they are filming Spider-Man Far From Home.
Yeah, they're
But
doing
Tony
that.
Stark doesn't know that.
The
He's
thing
sad.
is this,
I'm
and
sad
no,
for
no,
him.
I'm going to cancel this right now because every one of these movies, well, the bad guy comes. Well, you know the good guys are going to beat him anyways. What's the big deal? What's the point of seeing any movies, Jean Paul? You know the good guys are going to win at the end.
You got to build
There's no
right.
point. There's no point in seeing any of these movies because Avengers. You are
Preach.
100% right.
Preach.
You are
Preach.
100% right. Avengers: Infinity War was the best fanboy movie this year,
Hey.
hands down. Because
Hey.
you had what 10, 12. I mean, here's these movies around 12 years now, 10 years now.
10 years.
2008, so 10 years.
Okay, 10 years now. You so invest in these characters, and you see them come from behind
Matt
and
is
always
dancing
win.
right now.
And you finally saw these characters just get decimated. A bad guy comes into play and beats the holy heck out of these guys, and they don't know what to do because they just got annihilated. It is. It
No,
is
Annihilation's a different story.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, the fact that you
That's
said,
probably gonna be the next
well, you know
Marvel
they're
event.
coming back. What's the big deal? You know Superman's coming back, and the Batman v Superman. Who the heck cares? I mean, it's not, well, that's a joke. That's a bad movie. But I'm saying in general, every superhero movie has a premise.
It does.
The good guy is going to win at the end.
Yes,
you know
that's
these
fine.
good guys coming back. So why is this hate to this movie? And I said it to you too when you told me because my wife and I went to see this movie. True story. I said, no,
Ooh,
John
true
Paul,
story.
watch my daughter here. Because my wife and I see it, because you knew I'm going to enjoy this movie, because it's Marvel. If this was a DC movie, because you love Justice League, which is absolute garbage, CGI
And
garbage.
Suicide Squad.
Suicide Squad, CGI garbage. These movies are absolute garbage. And Avengers Infinity War, you can sit there and say, this is a
Avengers
bad
Game is
movie.
fun.
How is it a bad movie? I don't get it. This movie, from the very beginning of the movie, when he comes in and beats the heck out of that Asgardian, it's like, what the heck just happened? And then kills Loki, who's like the greatest villain. The greatest villain in cinema history is Loki.
Come on,
And
guys.
he kills Loki. I mean, this is incredible. And then Heimdall sends Hulk back. Why would he send Hulk back? Because it's the freaking Hulk. That's why he sends Hulk back, John Paul.
Breathe,
That's
sir,
why he sends
breathe.
Hulk back.
Take a breath.
This is the freaking Hulk. This movie was great. Thanos beats the
Already
crap
he's
out of the
getting-
Hulk.
yeah, he's,
He beats the crap out of the Hulk.
Alright.
Who beats the crap out
I
of the
didn't
Hulk?
mean to-
Thanos does, John Paul. This is unbelievable. And you
on
say
the floor. This is going to go by a whole lot quicker.
All right,
I'm
okay.
good. I'm
so,
good.
So who else had Infinity War?
I had Infinity War.
I
I also had Infinity War.
Did you? You did have Infinity
Infinity
War?
War,
Okay.
yes.
You had
Yeah.
Infinity War?
I did it.
All right.
Teen Titans Go to the Movies.
All right. There we
Did
go.
you like Infinity War though?
No, I liked Infinity War, but I thought Teen Titans Go to the Movies was the better fanboy
Now,
movie.
I will say I have not seen Teen Titans Go to the movies. However, I've seen enough Teen Titans Go that I'll give the other three people this. I have a feeling I would enjoy Infinity War more than Teen Titans Go to the movies.
All right.
Probably.
That's a victory.
Probably.
That's a win. That's a win.
But, you know. All right, disappointing. Avengers Infinity War for me.
This is the most foolish comment of the world. How did you say Avengers Infinity War?
We knew this was coming!
I don't get
We
this.
knew this
I
was
don't get this. Well, I knew this was coming, but why? Because it's Marvel. If the name is not Marvel, you would think this is the greatest movie in history. But it's not DC. I don't get this. I don't get this. I saw it again recently. I had to watch this movie again recently. I'm like, this movie is great. It is
Keeps going,
great.
he'll just
These
pass
characters
out.
are
I hope
great.
so.
This action is great. They all get annihilated, but you like these bad movies. I don't get it. Oh my God.
Now, you remember, this category is most disappointing, not worst movie of the year or anything like that.
Grade it.
This
Grade
is-
it. Grade it. 8 to F. Grade
this
it.
is
grade it.
most
Grade the movie. Grade the
disappointing.
movie. Grade the
We're not-
movie, John Paul.
we're not there today.
8 to F. 8 to F. Grade the movie.
We're not there today.
Grade this movie.
We're not there today.
I'm out of breath.
Okay. So, moving on, most disappointing for everybody else as we go through.
And yeah, I mean, this one's a weird one to say most disappointing because I didn't have high hopes for it, but I really liked the character. It's Venom. Like, that was
Okay.
a bad movie. I didn't think it was going to be good, but I really hoped it would be good because I like Venom, I like Spider-Man.
Figured it'd be better than it was.
Yeah.
Well,
so,
when Tom Hardy pretty much said that this movie was garbage, I don't know why they kept all the bad scenes from the movie and they just cut all the good stuff. This movie's going to be garbage. I'm like, well, I'm taking a nap.
I knew this movie was going to be garbage when they hired Tom Hardy because he's super overrated and sucks.
So,
Ouch.
so most disappointing from your co-host.
So real quick, I had 2 honorable mentions for best,
okay.
which was Deadpool 2 and Incredibles 2.
Okay.
They were both awesome, but
All right.
Infinity
No,
War
that's
just beat
good.
them out.
All right.
For most disappointing, I have 2 honorable mentions also, which is Venom
Yes.
and Solo.
Mm.
Very disappointed in Solo.
Mhm.
But, and this is probably going to upset John Paul,
Uh-huh.
but my most disappointing was Ant-Man 2. Because I had very high hopes for it.
That's fair. That's fair.
Ant-Man and the Wasp, excuse me.
Yeah, yeah.
Up
And
and
it just let me down. Like, it wasn't a bad movie. Like, I enjoyed it. But at the end, I was like, there was some real dumb stuff. in
It was
there,
a
wasn't
cut
Like, we had to
below.
almost talk about it before we realized how dumb it was.
up until Saturday night when I saw Aquaman, it was my favorite movie of the year.
I know. You had been
It was.
hyping
I mean,
it all
a
year.
Marvel movie. It was my favorite movie of the year.
You
That
would
was
have
my
happened.
most
You would have let that
disappointing.
happen.
Because I really thought it was going to be great, and I just got, like, okay, and just, yeah.
I hear you.
kinda
No,
lame.
I can get behind that.
All right. Anyone
Oh,
else? Disappointing.
Ready Player One. To me, I thought that was the most disappointing movie, just because of all the hype.
Most
for
people
it.
have enjoyed it. Yeah.
It's just like Steven Spielberg. It's this, and then like he made a decision. Oh, I'm not gonna put anything from my previous movies, but JK, I'm gonna have stuff that I didn't direct in there. So it was a bunch of conflicting stuff, and I just thought the movie was just bland. It was very dull. It was a typical sci-fi film.
I'm out of breath still right now, by the way.
Yeah,
Just
but,
so I
but,
can-
but what are you putting for disappointing, though?
Nick and I disagree apparently because I put Incredibles too, and
Alright.
I'm not saying I didn't like the movie. I thought it was decent. It's just it was the same story from Incredibles 1, like the same exact story.
Yes, disappointing again doesn't mean bad. Disappointing
Right.
means
It just
it-
I didn't see anything new from this one at
yeah,
all.
let you
I
down.
could see that. That's
All right.
understandable.
So most surprising. Okay, since it didn't get best for me, there's no question Ant-Man and the Wasp was the most surprising one for me. The first one was just average, pick an average sitcom on TV and pick the most average episode of that sitcom. Not bad, but just average. That was the first Ant-Man to me. Just there. And I loved Ant-Man and the Wasp. I couldn't wait to see it again. I've seen it 3 times now, and it's I own it. I don't own every Marvel movie. I own that one and love it. And
That's fair.
you know, it was a surprise.
If we ever go to your house, that will be like our holy shrine. We're like, oh, there's a Marvel movie.
I got several. All right, going around the room here.
Surprising for me was Spider-Verse. Like, I didn't think that it was going to be bad or anything, but it was so much better than I thought it was going to be, especially it being a Sony thing.
I finally have a Ditto.
Yeah, nice. This is actually my favorite Spider-Man movie. I
Actually,
think.
not you have a Ditko. Let's do a little Spider-Man.
Oh,
Yeah.
I high-five that one.
Okay. There we go.
I love Homecoming, and I think Homecoming is immaculate. But I like this more just because reading comics, Miles Morales was my Spider-Man, so and this is about Miles, not Peter Parker. So
I like
my
this
favorite
one.
Spider-Man movie.
Like, going off of it was a very great movie. I actually liked it because they changed the animation styles for each character. Like, not all the characters were drawn the same way. Everyone was done differently from the different universes. So just to be that intricate with the design of everything was really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, visually that movie was amazing.
Yeah. And that's why it was the surprising movie for me, because you like Sony Animation, you think, oh, it's going to be a throw. It's like, wow, they actually took their time with it. So that was the
Yeah,
surprising
we were
aspect.
both like, I can't believe this is the same studio that put out Venom.
Yeah, that's true. I said that right
And
after
Hotel
the-
Transylvania 3.
Yeah, I don't even know
Wow.
why they're still making those. So
How
I
did-
have
what
the
did
same movie.
Spidey.
Yep.
Alrighty.
I actually have a tie for this.
What do you have?
Because originally at Black Panther, I knew it was gonna be good, but the fact that this movie like shattered so many records, I'm like, wow,
Yeah.
that was shocking to me. And the other tie was Venom. The fact that
I think
everybody I know has
seen.
seen Venom. I haven't seen it,
Yeah.
and I thought it looked stupid, so I won't see it. But everybody I know has seen this movie. They all said the same thing. It's terrible. Except one person said it was, that was the best I heard. And this movie is doing great. I can't figure it out.
I don't know.
Like when the
Told you,
fanboys
Transformers, man. Look at Fast and Furious. A movie
It's
doesn't
a-
have to be
the
good.
first
It's-
Transformers was released.
It's
decent.
overseas market. That's what's overinflating these numbers. That's why
Oh.
we you look at worldwide gross. China accounts for over like 3/4 of the numbers.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Matt made that point on our show.
Yeah, it's
I never even
ridiculous.
listened to
They
the show,
like
so we're
bad
on the same
movies.
page.
That's what it is.
Is that what it is?
They
Right.
like bad movies.
I don't even listen to my own show.
So overall, I'll make mine real quick for all 3. I just copied because everything I saw this year, with the exception of I think one movie, was all very genre fanboy related. The one that was not, I really did have to sit there and think about for a while, and it is a really, really, really close runner-up to best movie of the year. Documentary, the Won't You Be My Neighbor, Mr. Rogers
Oh, that was
documentary,
really good.
and it was good, and it's one you left there just feeling good.
Yeah.
If you were a fan of Mr. Rogers growing up and all the rest, you left the movie theater feeling just really happy and good. Not a lot of movies. Avengers definitely didn't do that. Whether you like the movie or not, it's not one you walked out of there feeling good.
Unless you're an evil person.
Yeah. So it was my really close second, but I still went with Aquaman, Avengers, and Ant-Man and the Wasp for my 3.
Cool. For overall, again, like I kind of separated the nerd stuff from the non-nerd stuff. I put Overlord as the best. Like, I like zombies. I like horror. This movie was awesome. It kind of plays out like just a regular war movie, the first third of it, and then they get into the more sci-fi stuff. And it's kind of low budget. Nobody went and saw it. It's never going to get a sequel at all, not even close. But I really enjoyed it. Overlord was dope. Most disappointing, Mission Impossible Fallout. I was really on board with the last 2 Mission Impossibles, and this was a huge step down. I felt like, especially getting Henry Cavill to be the bad guy and then kind of making him this doofus throughout the movie.
And so we like Alec Baldwin could beat his, beat
Yeah.
him up. You're like, really?
Like-
Alec Baldwin could beat up?
You're the
Superman?
guy behind the scenes running everything, and you're an idiot.
Yeah.
How did you fall into this position? And
Are
then
we going through all of them?
he went through all of them, so
Oh.
I was going through all of them.
Yeah, mine were just ditto, so
Gotcha.
that's fine.
Surprising, I did Upgrade because that looked like it'd be a fine movie, but the action really elevated it, I thought, and I enjoyed it a whole lot.
All right.
And it's got that guy that looks like Tom Hardy, but it's like twice the actor of Tom Hardy. You know what I mean? That guy. Everybody
That guy.
knows him. Nobody knows him.
All right, Nick, how about you? What do you got?
So overall, it's just Infinity War again. I didn't see anything that beat that out. Most disappointing was Mission Impossible Fallout. We're too alike on these things. I was so excited for that movie, and it just, oh man, it let me down. And then most surprising, which will disappoint Brian, was Ready Player One. Because
That's
I
okay.
thought it looked like it was just going to be okay or kind of generic, and I actually really enjoyed it.
I'm
I was
with you,
surprised
Matt,
how good that was.
Wait, I want to real quick, since we get different opinions on those things, I think we might all agree, one, that you looked at the trailer, you knew what it was going to be, and so far the numbers are saying that. Mortal Engines, I don't think there's anything surprising about that one. at all. That one's
They were
dying left
pushing
and
that
right.
so hard in New York Comic Con.
Yeah.
Like every 5 minutes, it was like, Immortal Engines, Immortal Engines, Immortal
But
Engines.
when you said you looked at the trailer and you're like, I don't know, that's, I agree. It looks like one of those that's all the good,
Yeah.
and we're done with the good stuff. That's what it looked like. Mortal Engines, I don't know if there's even good in the trailer, but
Yeah, I didn't expect that kitchen sink approach to work, but the way they set it up was really cool.
cool.
Best, I gotta go Halloween 2018. I loved it.
Still
Surprise.
haven't seen it. I'm
Surprise.
ashamed.
No, don't.
I called that back in January.
No, you did not call it back in January.
Yeah, it's
I called
close.
that back
We
in
called it when
January.
they were first announced it. It'll be his favorite movie of the year.
Yeah, it was honestly, most Halloween movies, I'm like 50-50. I either really like them, and the first 1, 2, and H2 I really liked. The rest of them I didn't like at all. This one I loved. I mean, this was just a brutal Michael Myers. A lot of killing. I loved it. I thought it was really good. Just hands down, just a great movie. I can't wait to see it again. Most disappointing, just came out recently. People loved it. I don't get it. Is The Grinch.
Yeah.
I saw it and I almost fell asleep like 3 times, and I looked at my wife and she's
I
like,
wanna
I'm
see
so
that movie.
bored. We were both so bored to watch it. My daughter loved it though, which is all that matters, I
Well,
guess. But
It's aimed at kids, yeah.
Well, the funny thing is one of the guys from Clerks, Scott Mosier, he's in the film. He's the guy that Snowball. He's the director of that movie.
yeah, I heard that actually. I was surprised
So
by
it's
that.
kind of weird when you think about it, where he got his start in Clerks as a producer, and then he made his way up to Illumination.
As far as most surprising, I can't say it's a great movie. If you can shut your brain off and just enjoy the movie itself,
Mm-hmm.
The Meg is very entertaining.
Yeah.
I'm surprised. I thought it was going to be the stupidest thing in the world. I saw it. I'm like, this is going to be so stupid. And it was stupid. But it's so enjoyable, too, at the same point. It was just a fun monster movie. That's all
Oh
I can say.
no! We caught the Meg! Psych! There's an even bigger one!
Spoilers, by the way.
man.
Yeah, what's up with that, man?
That's like within the
I don't have
first
a reason to see
20
it
minutes.
anymore.
It's
now.
not even close. Like the first hour and a half, maybe.
I'm kidding. I'm never going to watch
I was
this
never
movie.
gonna watch that movie
The
either.
very reason why I watched it was because I have the A-list. I was like, I'm going to watch a 3D film in IMAX. And I picked that. I was like, why make horrible life choices?
So what do you got for your 3?
My best movie overall for the year is Isles of Dogs. I thought that by Wes Anderson. I thought that was one of the best stop motion animated films. It was really cool. It was unique. It was clever.
With a freaky trailer.
Yeah, well, I loved it. Most disappointing film was actually Wreck-It Ralph 2 Breaks the Internet. I thought that movie was very bland.
I'm with you.
It didn't go anywhere. It was just kind of like, yeah, Ralph breaks the internet. He needs to make $27,000 in like an hour. And
Because
like,
he bid eBay. It's my bad.
yeah, and it made no sense. I thought it was stupid. I had the Meg also, but that's because it was garbage. And then my most surprising was Hereditary. I thought that movie, the trailer, led you on to something completely different to what you actually finally watch, and it was a slow burn horror film.
It was a terrible movie, is what he meant to say.
Alrighty.
And I love like the twist in it that it wasn't who the trailer says it was. So
Alrighty.
Yeah, the trailer tried to make it look like a good movie.
So I think what we take from this is, except for the Hard at Work duo, we really don't agree on much. We have a few moments here and there. We've all had a couple of moments where it's like, yeah, ditto, back and forth, but we don't agree on a whole lot.
I like Solo personally.
I think we all
I
hate
enjoyed
each
Solo,
I thought it was
yes.
so good.
I think honestly, I think I picked the most obscure stuff. You guys are like, does Brian even watch movies, play video games, watch TV shows, or does he just like base everything he sees in the store?
So our surprise category is one that our Hard at Work Matt, who gets to start it off,
Nice.
came up with.
All right, so I just grabbed 3 things. I didn't really do one for each category. I just 3 things that I'm looking forward to in 2019. Number 1 is Future Man season 2. Like we said earlier, that show rocks. It's awesome. It comes out early January. Super excited about that. Of course, Avengers Endgame. And then this one might be a little surprising. Shazam. I'm really looking forward to Shazam. That looks super good. Like that trailer.
So did
got
Suicide
me
Squad.
jazzed.
Suicide Squad was
It's
amazing.
true,
One of the best trailers
but
I've seen
see,
in my entire life.
Suicide Squad looked flashy good.
Yeah.
So looking back at it now, you can be like, oh, I understand why I thought that looked good. Shazam just looks funny and fun.
It does.
So I got my fingers crossed. You know what Shazam looks like?
What's
Looks
that?
like a Marvel movie.
It does. I will agree with you.
You know
there.
what Marvel movies are?
They're good.
Normally pretty
They're
good.
good.
Well,
They're usually pretty good.
Playing 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon, Zachary Levi. He does the voice of Flynn Rider for Tangled, so he does have a Marvel legacy because he was a Disney prince.
All right.
Sure, yeah. So I want to see Shazam, you know?
I
He's
can-
always been Shazam to me.
How about you, Nick? What do you
Yeah,
got
I'm
for
just gonna ditto.
ditto on that one?
I didn't put any thought into this. I'm sure I could come up with stuff he didn't, but I'm not gonna bother.
It's all right.
Kingdom Hearts 3, just because there's been so much hype for the game and the demo was really cool, and Captain Marvel.
All right.
I can
And,
go.
and the Captain Marvel one, not the real Captain Marvel that they're not actually doing a movie
Yeah,
of,
the,
that they're calling Shazam and
yeah,
so on.
the-
Yeah, we won't get into that right now.
The Marvel Captain Marvel.
Yes.
It Part 2. Can't wait for It Part 2 to come out.
Oh yeah, that is coming out.
I'm looking forward to that so much. Pet Cemetery.
Yeah, shout out to Pet Sematary.
The remake of Pet Cemetery. There's been one trailer, so I just want to think.
I think it's just one, yeah.
Just
It
an
looks
old-
good, though.
It
Yeah,
looked really
actually
good,
looks
though.
really good.
It looked really good. The original I saw just recently, too, and the original was still really good.
We won't have Fred Gwynn in it, though, in the remake. So, yeah.
And he was great. He
Yeah.
was really good in the first one, but I mean, I think there's going to be more to the book in this one, and the remake. I mean, it looks creepy.
Yeah.
It really looks creepy from what I've seen so far. So I'm looking forward to that. And the Leprechaun remake.
All right,
I didn't even
okay.
know that was a
Oh,
thing.
I'm making that part up. I have no idea.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
It is coming up. I mean, they are remaking the movie. I'm like,
Are they gonna have Warwick Davis in it?
I don't know,
Oh.
but like
Or
Halloween,
Jennifer
they bring
Aniston?
back the slashes
She
coming
was in a
back. You know,
couple of
Halloween was so
she was in the
good,
first one.
and all the slashes they bring back is the Leprechaun, and
Aren't they
Child's
make-
Play is going to be
Yeah,
too.
I was gonna
I'm
ask
like,
you.
why?
Not excited
Those are the
about
ones
that
you go
one.
for.
Because the throwaway movies are actually really good, like Curse of Chucky. See, like those movies are actually really good.
No, they're actually not.
Look,
Yeah.
All right.
I've seen them at like 2:00 in the morning on Netflix. Those are great movies.
2 o'clock in the morning,
Okay.
and yeah, okay.
Okay, so what I'm looking forward to for the year, I got a runner-up. I think I'm going to go with the prequel to The Dark Crystal, which Matt needs to see.
Yeah.
The original, and then the
Yeah.
prequel. Hopefully on the prequel. It's been so long, and it was such a great original movie. But the thing I think I'm looking forward to most, that I hope does not end up on my disappointing list, and this is one we all get to end with making fun of Brian a little bit because he's the only
Yeah.
one who goes the other direction, is I'm looking forward to a good Star Wars movie to end the year.
Hey.
Yes.
I'm hoping that
Yes.
we don't have The Last Jedi repeated.
I like the last.
It's
one.
supposed
I
to be
know.
that-
That's why we get to make fun of you a little bit on that one.
I like the whipping posters. Like,
But I did like Solo. But I want to get back to the main
Yeah.
saga and have a
Okay,
good
so let me ask these
finale.
guys a different
Skywalker
question
Saga.
then. More foolish comment: Last Jedi is a good movie,
no, not this.
or Avengers is a bad movie? What's more foolish for comment?
Oh god, that's a tough choice.
I think that's a tough one.
The Avengers is a bad movie is more foolish.
Okay.
Yeah, I got
Because there's at least things about The Last Jedi where I'm like, alright, I mean, sure, your opinion's wrong, but it was pretty.
Yeah, the story is bad in Last Jedi. The scenes are good.
Sure, some of them.
Do you and Cody tend to agree on most stuff?
No.
Did he hate
He-
Last Jedi?
He liked the Last Jedi. I like the Last Jedi. He really rags on me for liking Teen Titans Go. So I mean,
Alright.
Which
that's
is
universally
understandable,
accepted.
All right. Well, I want to thank all of our guests for joining us for our recap of the year. Even though we don't really agree on most of it, but that's okay. That's okay. And next year, Brian has to come back and give us more weird
Yep.
games and other things that we would never have heard of or care about. And
Pretty
and we'll see what else surprising things happen. And by our next episode, I'm hoping that everybody in this room has seen Aquaman, so we can talk about the glory that is the Undersea Kingdom and such.
Was that me?
Yeah,
Making fun of me there?
I'm looking at everybody. No,
I'm seeing it Thursday, so
all righty. So
So
for
next podcast going to be an Aquaman review.
we have to do Aquaman next
Okay,
time.
so beginning of the year next year, we'll all come back here for Aquaman review.
There we go.
All right, that works. That works for me.
All right. So for John Paul,
The head host, B-Man.
Brian.
Hard at work, Matt.
Hard at work, Nick.
this is the Old Titan Show, and we are out of here.